Learn English through stories, C23 PDF. Adopted and modified by Kulwant Singh Sandhu. Contents: 1. The Gift of the Magi. 2. The Art Game. 3. The Simple Past. 4. More Grammar. 5. Picture Dictionary Page. The Gift of the Magi. The year is 1905. We are on the streets of New York, with its tall buildings, expensive stores, and important people. But what do we know about the little people? Who lives behind that door? Who works in that small, dark office? Let's open a door and watch two young people on a cold day in December. The apartment is small. It has only 2 rooms. There are no pictures or photos. We can't see any special things on the table. But it is a happy home. Mr. and Mrs. James Jim Dillingham Young live here. It is their first home, at $8 a week. Jim works 6 days a week for $20 and every evening he walks slowly home. His days are long and his feet are heavy. But then he opens the door of the apartment. There is Mrs. Young, is Della. She is the light in his dark days. She has food on the table for him, and she looks at him with her beautiful brown eyes. Jim always smiles. He is a happy man in his apartment with Delia, and she is happy too. This afternoon we can see Della in the apartment. Jim is at work. Della puts her money on the table. She has $1.87, and tomorrow is Christmas. How can I buy a special Christmas gift for Jim with $1.87? What am I going to do? She thinks. Della walks across her kitchen. What can I buy for Jim? Della looks at the window. She can see her unhappy face in it. She looks at her long, beautiful hair. Jim always says, I like to see your hair every morning in the sun. At work, I think about your hair. Mr. and Mrs. James D. Young have 2 special things, Della's hair and Jim's gold watch. The watch was a gift from Jim's father, and Jim always has it with him. Sometimes Della says, Excuse me, Mr. Young, what time is it? Then Jim smiles, and he takes the gold watch from his coat. He opens the watch and looks at it with love. Then he tells Della the time. But now Della is thinking about her beautiful hair. Quickly she puts on her thin, black coat and old hat. She goes into the street. She runs to Mrs. Sofroni's store on First Street. The old woman buys hair. Can you buy my hair? Della asks. Mrs. Sofroni smiles. I can give you $20 and for it. Okay, but please, take it quickly, Della says. Della sits down and Mrs. Sofroni starts to work. Della doesn't look at her hair on the floor. At 3 o'clock she takes the $20 and from Mrs. Sofroni and puts on her hat. She runs quickly to 4th Street and looks in every store. She finds her gift for Jim, a beautiful gold chain for his watch for $21, and Della runs home and finishes the Christmas food. She is happy because she has the chain for Jim's watch. Then she sees her hair in the window. Is Jim going to love me with short hair? Della thinks. But I did it for him. I wanted a gift for him. Della sits down and Mrs. Sofroni starts to work. At 7 o'clock, Della hears Jim at the door. He is never late. Della has her gift for him in her hand. The door opens and Jim walks into the kitchen. He looks thin and he is cold in his old coat and shoes. Then he sees Della's hair. He isn't angry, but he is quiet. Jim talked to me. I'm gonna have long hair again one day. But this evening I have a special gift for you. Let's be happy, it's Christmas tomorrow, Della says. But, Jim says, where is your beautiful hair? At Mrs. Sofroni's store she has my hair now, and I have a gift for you and I love you, Della says. Jim doesn't answer. He looks at Della. Then he says, Della, I loved you with long hair and I love you with short hair. And I have a special gift for you too. Della opens the gift quickly, and she finds 2 expensive combs for her long brown hair. Della knows these combs because she sees them every day in a store window on 5th Street. She loves them, but now she has no hair for them. Jim, they're beautiful, and in 6 months I can put them in my hair, says Della. But wait, I have a gift for you. Jim opens his gift slowly and he looks at it. Jim, do you like it? I looked in every store. Give me your watch. Let's put it on your watch, says Della. But Jim doesn't give Della his watch. He sits down and smiles. Della, let's put our gifts away for a year, he says. I don't have my watch. I went to that store near my office. They buy watches there. You can see my watch in their window now, and you have the combs. What do we have here? The story of 2 people. They don't have a lot of money, but they have a lot of love. And now they are going to have a happy Christmas because they understand about special gifts. And now they understand about special gifts. The art game. Jeff, my friend, Andy Tucker says one day, we aren't making any money. Let's try a new game. Well, Andy, Jeff says, tell me your plan, but remember this, I don't want to take money from people. We aren't going to take money from them. They're going to buy things from us, Andy says. But that's our old game, what's new? Jeff asks. We're playing a child's game here, people buy our things for $1, let's move to Pittsburgh. We can find some millionaires and make a lot of money, Andy says. Why do you want to go to Pittsburgh? Jeff asks. The millionaires in Pittsburgh worked for their money, it's new to them. Now they want to buy beautiful, expensive things, Andy says. But what are they going to buy from us? Jeff asks. Wait and see, Andy says. After 3 days in the bars and restaurants of Pittsburgh, Jeff and Andy meet at their hotel on Thursday evening. Let's have a drink, Jeff, Andy says. I know a Pittsburgh millionaire. Where did you meet him? Jeff asks. At a little coffee bar on 12th Street. Pittsburgh millionaires don't like expensive restaurants and bars. We talked, and he liked me. His name is Scudder. I went to his house too. He has $12 and zero in the bank, but he's a new millionaire. Now he wants to know about good books, the theater, and beautiful art. He wants to be a gentleman, Andy says. How is he going to do that? Jeff asks. He has teachers and buys expensive books and pictures, Andy says. Okay, but what is he going to buy from us? Jeff asks. He has a lot of pictures in his house. He has a famous little gold horse too. It's from Egypt and it's very old. I asked him about it. He said, there are 2 of these gold horses, I want the other horse, but I can't find it. We don't know about art, where can we find a gold horse for Scudder? Jeff asks. Wait and see, my friend, Andy says. Let's have a drink, Jeff, Andy says. I know a Pittsburgh millionaire. On Friday, Andy comes back to the hotel in the afternoon. He has a bag in his hand. Look, Jeff, I was in a little store near here. Look at this, Andy says. He opens the bag. Andy, Jeff says, is this a gold horse from Egypt? It is. It was under some old things in the back of the store. I said to the old man, can I have that horse for $2? And he said, that's a beautiful little thing, give me $35 and then it's yours. What did you give him? Jeff asks. He was happy with $25, and Scudder is going to be very happy. He's going to buy my little horse from you. Why from me? Jeff asks. You're going to call him, you are a famous art teacher, you want to buy his horse, Andy says. After Jeff's telephone call, Mr. Scudder arrives at the hotel. He wants to see the art teacher's gold horse. It's beautiful, Mr. Scudder says. It's the other horse from Egypt? Yes, I know about your horse. Now I want to buy it. I want to put the two horses in a special place at my art school. I can give you $2,000 and for your horse, the art teacher says. Never, you can't buy my horse, I'm going to buy yours, here's $2,500 and, Mr. Scudder says. Okay, with $2,500 and I can buy 2 or 3 pictures for my school, the art teacher says. Now I'm going to have 2 horses in my bedroom, Mr. Scudder says. Jeff runs to Andy's room. Andy is looking at his watch. Did Scudder buy the horse? He asks. Yes, he loved it. The money is in my bag, Jeff says. It's beautiful, Mr. Scudder says. Good, let's go. There's a train to Cincinnati at 10:45, Andy says. Why, let's stay in Pittsburgh for the weekend. Mr. Scudder is happy and we're happy. He has 2 horses and we have $2,500 and no problems, Jeff says. You're right and wrong. We have $2,500 and, but Scudder has only 1 horse, Andy says. Andy, did you take that horse from his house? Jeff asks. Yes. It wasn't difficult, Andy says. But why did you tell me that story about the old man in the store near here? Jeff asks. Oh, because you never want to take money from people. Mr. Scudder had a horse for his money, Andy says. But... Jeff, stop. No questions. Let's go, the train is waiting, Andy says. 3. The simple past tense. Use the simple past tense to talk about things that happened in the past. The simple past tense is also used to talk about things that happened in stories. Dinosaurs lived millions of years ago. 1. Banta bought a new camera last week. It is already broken. 2. Gita learned to play the guitar very quickly. 3. We drove to the safari park last weekend. The children loved it. 4. The giant panda gave birth to a cub last night. 5. Yesterday Dad took me to the cinema. 6. The plane landed a few minutes ago. 7. The children visited a farm during the holidays. 8. Who invented the computer? It was Charles Babbage. Charles Babbage. 9. Jack and Jill went up the hill. They went to find a bird and kill. 10. Little Red Riding Hood decided to visit her grandmother. 11. The 3 bears found Goldilocks asleep in their house. 12. Banta went to see his girlfriend. Banto. 4. More grammar. 1. 2 questions but 1 answer. 1. A. Who loves Banto? B. Who does Banta love? Answer. Banta loves Banto. 2. A. Who bought a jacket? B. What did Banta buy? Answer. Banta bought a jacket. 3. Who has broken her leg? B. What has Rita broken? Answer. Rita has broken her leg. 4. Whose child broke our window? B. Whose window did her child break? Answer. Her child broke our window. 2. Not or no. 1. I have no idea where my wife is. 2. I speak Spanish, but not very well. 3. We play kabaddi, but not on Mondays. 4. There are no messages for you. 5. Picture dictionary page.